Hi, you're watching my channel, Quad Busted. So I went to my local hobby store just to pick up some parts for one of my other builds, and I saw this thing sitting on the shelf, and I had to have it because this is a Traxxas trx4 Bronco edition, and the '79 Bronco is probably one of my favorite trucks of all time. In fact, I happen to have one. I have a full-size '79 Bronco, a really nice one. I brought it here from California, so it's all clean, no rust. So I saw this thing, and I knew this was out for a while. I was never really big on these scale crawlers because I thought they would be kind of boring because they're not like fast and action-packed like what I'm used to. But being that this was a Bronco, I had to have it, so I grabbed it. And it turns out that this thing is probably one of the most fun trucks I've ever had. I spent hours using this thing, rock crawling and all that. I'll show you a little bit of footage of that. So I'll show you some of the features. I won't go too in depth because you can go on the website and check out anything you need to know, but I'll just point out some things that might not be on the website or some questions you might have before you buy one of these, just to make sure it's something you'd want. Body's just held in place with the regular clips. No quick release latch like the X-Max or anything like that. It just comes right off. So this truck comes with a brushed 550 size 21 turn motor. Plenty of torque. It's not really fast, it's no speed demon, but this thing's not intended for that. It's a crawler, so it's not going to be fast. Electronics, it's got XL5 speed control. It's good, it's proven, it's reliable. And as far as batteries, you can run LiPo nickel metal. So you can run a 6 or 7 cell nickel metal or 2 or 3S LiPo. I run it on 3. It's got a really nice battery release. You just push this down, it swings right out of the way. Makes it real easy to change batteries. That I like a lot. Traxxas has been coming out with a lot of cool things lately, so I give them a lot of credit. I wasn't really into Traxxas because of that whole Arma thing, and I love Armas, but whatever, that's not going to stop me from getting a cool truck. So if you take a look, there's 3 servos. One here, here, here. Little servos. I'll show you what those are for. So those 3 small servos are controlled by this 2-way rocker switch and this 3-way toggle switch. So the toggle switch in the rear position is open diffs, front and rear. In the middle position, it's a locked front diff. Forward, front, and rear diffs are locked. And that's huge. That makes all the difference in the world, having selectable lockers. Because if there's one thing that's most important in an off-road truck, is lockers. Remember that. Lockers before anything else. Because even in a 4-wheel drive truck, if you only have open diffs front and rear, it's still kind of only 2-wheel drive. The wheel with the least traction is the one that's going to spin first, and you're going to be stuck. So that's huge right there, because sometimes you don't always want locked differentials. Like if you have good traction and you're at a higher speed, handling could really be negatively affected with locked diffs. Or if it's a slippery surface like driving snow or something, your truck's going to want to push through turns if your front diff is locked. So having selectable lockers is awesome. Now this 2-way rocker switch that controls the transmission transfer case. In the up position, it's in low range, so it's a bit slower, but it's got a lot more pulling power. In the bottom position's high range, it's a little bit quicker, but not as torquey. So those 2 features, the 2-speed transmission and the selectable lockers, that's what makes this Traxxas TRX4, in my opinion, the best on the market right now. There might be others with those features that I don't know about, but out of the box, this Traxxas is set up awesome. It worked really well. Rear suspension, standard 4-link. You have the 2 uppers and the 2 lowers. And this is a double triangulated, meaning the uppers are triangulated and so are the lowers, instead of straight lowers and triangulated uppers. That just gives you a little more articulation, but it's kind of not as strong, but in a crawler, it should be fine. And the front suspension is a little bit different. So the front's a 3-link. You have 2 links in the bottom, which are straight, and only 1 upper link. And that can either be straight or angled a little bit. And the reason why you would run a 3-link in the front instead of a 4-link is so you can keep kind of a lower ride height. Because in the front, you got things like steering linkages, motor, and other things to get in the way. So if you had a 4-link in the front, the thing would sit way higher. Center of gravity wouldn't be as good. Alright, so from here you can see the steering and suspension in the front. So right up there is your drag link for your steering. It goes from the servo to the passenger side knuckle. Here's your center link. It connects knuckle to knuckle. And this is also known as what's called a high steer kit. So in a normal truck, this center link is below the axle, and the high steer puts it above. So the only disadvantage to a high steer is tire clearance. Sometimes it gets in the way with the rim and tire, but in this case this is what's called portal axles, or also some people refer to them as Unimog, because Mercedes used them on their Unimog and made them famous. It puts an extra gear reduction at the wheel. But the advantage to the high steer is this center link is out of harm's way. And then even though this is a 3-link, you have your 2 lowers and your one upper. There is a fourth. It's right in there. It's kind of hard to see. Right there, that's called a panhard bar, or also known as a track bar. That keeps the axle from moving side to side. Because in the back you have a triangulated 4-link, upper and lower, and that locates the axle side to side. But because you only have the 3 links, you need a link right here, a track bar, to keep it from moving side to side. And it's very important that this track bar be the same length and at the same angle as your drag link for your steering. That prevents any bump steer. So at high speed that could be an issue, but something like this, a slow speed crawler, it's not too big of a deal. But this setup does kind of limit travel and articulation. But again, it's necessary if you want to keep a low ride height. So that's why this is typically used in most street driven trucks. Alright, right there you can see the shock. And you can also, in this angle, you can see the steel frame. It's a nice steel C-channel frame, pretty rugged. Tires are nice, real soft compound. Wheels, nice chrome wheels, cool looking, kind of mimic the American racing wheels that were popular in the 70s and 80s. So that's really about it. So this is a cool truck, definitely a fun crawler. And I like I said before, I thought that this would kind of be a boring truck because I was never into like the slow crawling thing. You know, I like the big fast-paced monster trucks, but I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. It's a real good looking truck. It's all dirty, scratched up. I probably should have cleaned it up for this video, but to me, Broncos look better when they're dirty. One other thing I want to mention, I did kind of make a mistake when I buy this. So these trucks come in 2 colors. You have the black and red, which is the one you see here, and another one called the Sunset. The Sunset Bronco has the same decals as the original 1979 freewheeling Bronco. It's the same Bronco, it's just a trim package called freewheeling. It has what they call the chromatic stripe kit. So I'm going to show you something in the box that's important. So that's the Sunset Bronco that I wanted. That's a beautiful looking truck. The red one's just as nice, but that's the one I saw, it's the one I wanted. But I never really read boxes. To me, the picture on the front's the most important thing, and there's no need to look past that. Well, maybe at the price. But anyway, had I read the box, I would know that they make 2 body options. And this big white circle right here means that the one in this box is the red and black one. So, not a huge deal. I think they both look awesome. And I could always just buy that body later on. I've seen a couple on eBay. Good night, take care, thanks for watching.